Support the He podcast via a one-time donation, a monthly subscription from as low as $1, a lifetime membership, and purchase He's exclusive collection of merchandise. And for all other business inquiries at buymeacoffee.com/Rafi. Who is he? He is me. Hi, I'm Rafi Redzwan. This is he. Here is my chance to share some amazing stories with some amazing people that are inspiring to me. He celebrates everyday people of everyday life. He revolves around conversations that inspire others to change the world and make a difference in life, with a little bit of laughter and a whole lot of drama. Join me for personal stories and experiences on health and healing, successes and failures, recovery and discovery, anything relatable, and anything in between. He elevates us to rise again and live our very best life. Just so you know, you are not alone. He is with you. Hi, Kuti.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice
You're
to
the
meet
OG.
you. The
Nice
OG.
to meet you. The OG. Very iconic. And I love that, you are on the show with me. And I'm very proud that you say yes to me.
Oh, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and I think if it's not because of Nina, I wouldn't be here with you today, Kuti. And you helped her through her TEDx speech in Amsterdam, and you yourself is a TEDx speaker, Coach 2 TEDx speaker.
Yes, and yes, we should thank Nina
Wow.
for allowing us to meet this way.
Yes,
Walaupun it's
yes,
nice
yes.
to get to meet you.
Yes, and Kuti, you have been in the business for so long. I have so much respect for you. Now, as a person who does almost the same thing using my voice, I couldn't think of anyone else. It makes so much sense to have you on the show because there's so much to learn. And I'm so glad that you chose this topic. And I knew you would. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered. Wow.
You gave me three options, and that jumped out at me. And I thought, okay, I don't know what it's going to be about, but I like the
Yeah.
title.
I think it says so much of your style and your presence and how you carry yourself. And I think, this is also a song.
Yes, correct.
Very jazzy and very emotional. Not so emotional, but very fun to begin with.
Yeah.
Many people sang that song. I think there's so
Mm.
many rendition. Original dia tak silap I. Hmm.
Doris Day, ada Ella Fitzgerald, I think.
Betul. Dua ni. So, this topic is the emotional journey of feeling enchanted, unsettled, and lost, and how these
Yeah.
moments lead to growth, clarity, and self-discovery. When I saw you and I went through your Instagram, you're a person full of life. I think you're not just a person with voice. This conversation inspired by the timeless classic, I hope we delve into the raw emotional states of being enchanted, overwhelmed, and uncertain. Kuti Biazid is a professional voiceover artist, TEDx speaker, and Wikipedia executive coach and speech coach. I hope we unpack the beauty of chaos and emotional complexity, sharing your reflections on how being bewitched by wonder, bothered by doubt, and bewildered by change can lead to a deeper self-awareness. And through this honest conversation, Kuti, I hope you invite our listeners into the messiness of growth and the magic hidden in confusion for a poetic and powerful reflection on what it means to feel deeply and live fully. What's a recent moment that left you feeling truly bewitched, captivated, or moved in a way that caught you off guard?
Yeah, that very phrase is actually the reason why something is bewitching in this case, because you use the word bewitching. Kan? It's in the small moments actually that I really like. Small moments, but unexpected. That could come in the shape of, say, a client sharing me a breakthrough moment for her or him, or something that made that person say, hey, you know what we learned last week? That really helped me. Or just recently, I received a message from an old client who I worked with 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and I found out that he's now been promoted and had it elevated in his progress at work. And he thanked me for our sessions together. So things like that make me really happy professionally, in the professional sense lah. It
Mm.
has to be unexpected, something that I was not looking for, but it just came to me that day, and it just lights up my day, when I hear things
Yeah.
like that.
How long have you been in this industry?
In the voiceover world, more than 30 years, but
Wow.
coaching, about 8 years.
Wikipedia has been 8 years for you.
Yes, correct.
Yes, yes, wow. How competitive is this for Malaysians to be as voiceover artists?
Where voiceover artists are concerned, there are quite a number of active VO talents, and
Yeah.
you can find the most active ones within the Voice Guild Malaysia community. There are voice talents who only focus on, say, one language. There are some that will focus on two. I
Mm-hmm.
do two, both English and Bahasa. And there are a handful that also
Mm-mm.
kautim all three languages. They can do Malay, Chinese,
Mm.
and
Yes.
English fluently. And then there are other genres that they can focus on, let's say animation voice, or
Yes.
specifically for announcements. As a professional voiceover artist, you should be able to handle majority of scripts, different styles of
Mm.
deliveries. That will make you a
Mm-mm.
versatile voiceover artist. Kalau you boleh buat satu cara je, that means you're not considered very versatile. You need to know which area you're good at and try and focus on those types of scripts if you can. For example, I used
Mm-mm.
to do animation when I was a lot younger, but the last 10 years I not gotten into animation voice much, and I just focus on
Mm-hmm.
the areas that I get called a lot to do. For example, corporate videos, documentaries, commercials as well. Yeah, so to
Yes.
answer
Yeah.
your question, is it competitive? I would say yes. A lot of people want to become voiceover artists because it's a lot of fun, and it doesn't feel like work. There is work involved. There is a business
Yeah.
mindset that you need to switch on if you want to take this far, because I've been around for more than 30 years, right? And it's not just going into the
Mm-mm.
studio and just record and keluar je. You need to have a certain amount of work ethics, build a relationship with studios, understand different
Mm.
scripts, and you got to be able to manipulate yourself into different roles. So that's how you grow as a voiceover artist, and not just do it on a whim. That's how I would,
Yeah.
yeah, take this job lah, if you want to get into it seriously.
Yes, yes. And there's a lenggok to it too, right? Like kena bit of berlakon, I think, because if you do character voicing kan, dia kena keluarkan more of that into that character than just talking like on a corporate video. So I think
Yes.
versatility is also important, kan?
That is correct. That's why there are some people who
Mm-mm.
refer to this job as, you can refer to someone as a voice actor or a voiceover
Ah,
artist. I
yes.
refer to myself as a voiceover artist because I do
Mm.
mostly narration. Okay, so if you get
Mm.
involved in animation work for video games or cartoons and things like that, then yes, I
Yeah.
would say that person is a voice actor. But because majority of my
Yes.
work is narration, that's why I call
Mm-hmm.
myself a voiceover artist.
Kira celebrity jugalah.
Tak adalah
Kan?
kalau
Boleh
selebriti.
consider a celebrity in artist in for the voice. Tak ada.
I think the word artist there,
of
not bukan
uh,
artist like celebrity. Because if I walk down the street, no one knows who I am, so I can't be considered a celebrity. I'm behind the scenes
yes.
character. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
suits me just fine. Okay.
Before we dive into your work as executive coach and speech coach at Wikipedia, how do you navigate the discomfort of being bothered by self-doubt or uncertainty, especially in your work as a speech or vocal coach? I'm sure you
In
have been bothered by it, like sometimes when you're not feeling yourself, and it
yeah,
affects how you deliver your speech. And especially me, has hosted my show for 5 years. If I don't feel good, it's hard for me to deliver well,
yes.
because people can tell. There's one time there was this guest told me to stop because I suddenly got emotional and got off script and suddenly got everything that's not related to the conversation.
Mm, mm. Okay.
Yeah, and I think this question is also relatable to me because being in the business for 30 years, when you are bothered by self-doubt, how do you deliver?
Yes, self doubt does plague most people. For me, in my area of work, the self doubt comes in a few
Mm,
forms. Okay, as a speaker, because I do speak as well, I get invited to speak at events and things like that. As a coach, that's another area of self doubt. Yeah, so
yeah.
as a speaker, the self doubt comes in terms of whether my speech or my content is relatable to my audience, because the
Mm-hmm.
worst thing that can happen is if you are talking about a subject that does not relate to them or remotely interesting for them. But as a speaker, you have to also know how to engage them, even if the topic may not relate to them. That's where the
Mm-mm.
creativity
Mm-mm.
comes in. How do you create a subject matter that may not relate to anyone in the audience, but turn it into something interesting, relatable, and engaging? The self doubt happens before the delivery, and that's where preparation comes
Mm-mm.
in. You have to prepare
Mm,
for you to be able
mm.
to make sure that you tick all the boxes, like I mentioned. And then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
self doubt as a coach or a trainer is different from my example as a speaker, because the self doubt comes in the part where I ask myself, are my methods transformational? Because that's my goal as a trainer or as a coach. My primary goal is to make sure that my participants or my clients get valuable tools to use so that they can transform themselves as fast as possible or as effectively as possible. Then I would consider the job to be well done. So the self doubt comes again
Yeah.
before that. I'll have to go through my modules and understand their issues and make sure that whatever that I curate or tailor for them is works for them, that is effective for them. And that's my primary mission, to make sure that they will be able to reach their own personal goals through whatever that I teach them or I guide them through. Self doubt, we all carry it. We carry it daily like designer bags. Okay, so
Yeah.
sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's okay, but can't run away from it. But I think managing it is good. So for me, how
Yeah.
I handle those self doubts is to constantly remind myself to appreciate, bersyukur, and be in
Mm-mm.
a state of gratitude that I am in this position to help people or to send out a message that's useful, hopefully
Yes.
useful for everybody. Appreciating both good and the negative, because if you learn from it, the self doubt is
Mm-hmm.
actually also because you want to do better. You want
Mm-mm.
to you want to get to a better place. Sometimes some people say, oh, the self doubt is because of your need for perfection, and that's, in
Oh
a way,
yeah.
it's good because it means that you care a lot for you to push yourself, right? As long
True.
as the
Yeah,
self
yeah.
doubt doesn't cripple you or stunt from growth, I think, yeah, it's about managing it, because it's a sign for
Yeah.
you to shift or work on something within
Yeah.
yourself.
And I see three types of environment here because I think if you are working in a studio, you're just with yourself and probably some producers. It's not the same as when you speak on stage, kan? Kalau for
Totally.
me, I'm very comfortable here, my own room, talking to you. Tapi kalau nak pergi on stage tu, I can have my nervous system is different. I think for me, I need to know the audience first. Kalau tak kenal tu macam, alamak, boleh tak terjah macam ni? Kalau terjah, you see when I saw your TEDx punya, when you speak at TEDx, I don't see any sign of nervousness. Tapi kan kalau I tengok me when I stand on stage, I tak boleh. I macam, kalau pegang paper, I can see myself, macam tu. Your voice pun ada vibration for me. Tapi kan, how do you distinguish between this? How do you set yourself apart? And then on the studio, macam ni.
I haven't always been, macam you cakap, you don't see any
Mm.
signs of nervousness. Trust me, okay?
Mm-mm.
I was a big ball of nerves dulu. Memang menggeletar.
Mm.
Kalau I pegang paper, you boleh nampak macam I'm like a leaf shaking, in my
Yeah,
hand.
yeah,
Bila
yeah, yeah,
bila
yeah.
nervous tu, okay? I've gone through that, maybe times 10.
Mm.
So I've gone through nerves, anxiety on stage in front of people. Sometimes tak payah stand on stage pun, cakap depan orang pun I nervous sometimes, okay? So that's
Mm-mm.
why
Mm-mm.
doing voiceovers was
Mm-mm.
was ideal for me. Macam you dalam studio
Mm.
sekarang in your own setup, right? You are alone,
Uh-uh.
right? In the
Yes.
studio, like a goldfish in a bowl, okay? I'm in the booth with my
Yeah.
headphones on. There's only one sound
Uh-uh.
engineer outside the booth. That honestly is my comfort zone.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I feel you.
Okay. It's
I
my
feel you.
comfort. Okay. Tapi
Betul, betul sangat.
yeah, and
Tapi
then dulu-dulu masa buat recording, clients will come to the
hmm.
studio tau. Okay, this is before
Mm-mm.
lockdown, before COVID lockdown. When you do
Yeah.
a recording, clients will come to the studio. Producers, the ad agency people, and clients will come. So outside the booth, there will be, I don't know, three, sometimes five, sometimes even 10 people watching me, or just
Mm.
being present lah while I record, and that
Yeah.
can make me nervous too back then. But then you get
Yeah.
used to it. I get used to the idea that there are people out there. They're not there to judge you. They're there to do their
Yeah.
job because they need to be present, and they also want to
Mm-mm.
make sure that the job is done well. My
Yeah.
job is to make sure that the job is done well. So once I
Yeah.
shift the mindset whereby no one is there to judge me, they just want to make sure the job is done. They also nak balik. Dia orang pun tak nak
Uh,
lama-lama kat situ kan.
ah.
So
Yeah.
so if
Yes. Yes. I
everyone is
like
there to
that.
do a
Yeah.
job,
Yeah.
yeah, you change that mindset.
Uh-uh.
And same thing when you go on stage.
Mm-mm.
I know we always think, oh my God, I'm gonna suck. Oh my God, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. So if you're too me centric, that means you're thinking about
Mm-mm.
yourself a lot. That's when all
Mm.
the nervous anxiety
Mm.
happens. But when you shift the focus to the audience, meaning they are here to listen to something that I need to share. So make sure that
Mm.
they are getting this information. Okay. So again, they're not there to
Mm.
judge you. The minute you feel nervous,
Mm.
they will feel nervous with you.
Yeah.
Just need some practice getting used to. But
Yes.
my biggest tip is the
So,
more you do it,
ah,
the more comfortable it will become.
so part
Yeah.
of the training that you provide, say a person like me need a coaching to speak somewhere. These are the things you tell them too, other than voice practice more.
I will get them to speak a lot. The primary thing is to get them accustomed to hearing their voice aloud, because that is something that
Okay, okay.
nervous speakers, they're not used to
Mm-mm.
hearing themselves deliver with a certain level of projection.
Yes, yes, yes,
Energy.
yes.
The energy
Wow.
is different from macam kita sekarang cakap macam on the phone, right? For you
Uh-uh.
to deliver a presentation or a speech, you need to dial up the energy level. Speaking with energy is what I get them to start getting used to first.
And then from there, you will navigate through the whole process basically. Like it's
Yes.
holistic lah. It's not just the voice, kan? It's the energy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
how
not
they
just
present themselves, how they
yeah.
sound, kan?
Yeah, actually, it starts with
Diction. Yes,
awareness.
sometimes
Mm.
awareness.
It starts with
Okay,
awareness
okay.
first, because they need to be aware that they have certain issues. If they have issues, these
Mm-mm.
are the issues, because no two people are the same. Your issues could be different from the next person.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the sense of awareness of where
Mm-mm.
they are currently has to be brought to light, because only through awareness can you change.
And
Yeah.
why do you think feeling bewildered or lost or unsure in this journey can sometimes be the start of that meaningful transformation?
Yes, being bewildered can lead to transformation, right?
Mm-mm.
With awareness comes change. Sometimes being aware or having that sense of awareness can be uncomfortable, right? Because
Mhm.
we all resist change, isn't it? We'd rather
Yeah,
be comfortable where we are. We resist change because change can be unsettling, can be messy. When you accept that you want to transform, you also need to go through the discomfort of making changes.
I want to ask something a little bit more personal here. You're talking about resisting. What emotional state do you find yourself resisting the most? And how has that resistance taught you something about yourself in this journey?
That is such a good question. It's a thought provoking question.
Mm-hmm.
What I resist, I know it sounds really weird, but I resist being completely happy. Okay, I would
Yes,
rather
yes,
just be
yes.
content.
Mm-mm.
Because
You
life
give me
is
goosebumps, Kuti.
it When
Betul.
I'm hearing myself say that aloud, I sound pretty sad. Like, eh, why you don't want to be happy? But actually, honestly, I'm grateful to just be content, because content can
Yes.
keep you. I know some people say, eh, but being content keeps you in comfort zone, and that limits growth. But through being content, I dig in and I try and push the boundary sikit, sikit, sikit. And sometimes I experience
Mhm.
temporary euphoria. Okay, for achieving something. I don't
Yeah.
get overly happy, but just
Yes.
achieving little goals, I feel that temporary euphoria, for achieving something or engaging with someone or overcoming a challenge.
Mhm.
And through that, I will always remind myself again that I must be grateful. I must appreciate all the little things that I have done. So from time to time, I will remind myself that, hey, I did it or I deserve it. I remind myself, Alhamdulillah, because I have this, because He wills it. It goes
Mm-mm.
back to being grateful, bersyukur, and I am content
Yeah.
that way.
And it's funny how you answer that because I've struggled being happy for a very long time, and being content is what it is today. And for me, being happy is reaching the highest of the high. Then once I reach that level, I can no longer go higher than that. And then I will hit
Yeah.
my lowest point. And then that's when I get
Mm.
very depressed and I start to question everything all over again. Like, am I doing the right thing? And I think being content now, I know now why your answer resonates with me is because
Mm.
it's not about not feeling happy. It doesn't stop growth either. You see? Well, most people think if you are content with something, you are just accepting things for what it is. And it hasn't been that way because there's always growth in that too,
Yes.
without being overly happy or overly sad, in
Correct.
between. Because all this feeling of bothered, bewildered, and bewitched, it's about being content.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
That's right.
bersyukur with what you have and still progress your way through it and still be successful in your own terms.
Yes. Well, at least that's my method lah. Through being content, I push the boundaries a bit here, a bit there, and feeling temporarily happy and feeling really happy actually when I have overcome
Mm-mm.
something or I've achieved something. And I know it will
Yes.
not be in that state of euphoria forever. And I accept the
Mm-mm.
fact that I will come back down to earth, and I'm fine with
Yeah.
that.
Betul. Yes, I love it. Oh wow. Because you know why I emphasize this is also the need for people to find journey in the pursuit of happiness. We often lost our way. I still struggle to find contentment. Being at home,
Yes.
doing
Yes.
all the basic things. Patutnya
Yes.
content because more people strive to find that sort of peace
Yes.
kan. Tapi
Correct.
susah, masih lagi struggle to like nak accept macam ni betul ke?
Yeah.
Is this life?
I mean,
You
this is
said it in the most, yeah, very calm and very, I can sense it in your voice too. You don't
thank
say it
you.
because you have to say it. You
Mm.
say it because of your experience. You feel it and your voice says
Thank
it
you.
all.
In fact, where you are right now, a lot of
Yeah.
people probably want what you have. You are running this podcast in your own space. You love what you do. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know how many people out there are doing something that they actually don't want to do? There's a lot to be happy about in what you're doing. These are little moments that you can, sort of cherish lah.
And then in this journey, clarity comes after awareness. Once you start having those awareness, you find clarity. Now, the need to find clarity, how do you find the balance with the reality that growth often begins in confusion or chaos? Another
uh,
thought-provoking question.
okay. We always go through moments where, alamak, another bump in the road, or alamak,
Yeah.
now I've got to go through a moment of discomfort. Alamak, I've got to confront something. So, all these bumps in the road, once you go through them, once you get over the confusion, it is part of growth, right? For me, growth begins with a struggle or a confusion. It's a matter of whether you want to go through the eye of the storm. So,
Mhm.
for me, sometimes, for
Yeah.
example, I wasn't always a good speaker. I had to go through moments of discomfort to get out of it. My husband passed away in 2016. I'm late in my age when
Mm.
he passed
Mhm.
away. And I knew that just doing voiceovers alone will not help me to support my 3 young children at the time, kan? So I knew knew I needed to do
No.
more. So that's
Oh.
when I decided to pivot and teach or coach
Mm-mm.
in the one area that I know best, and that is to use my voice. I knew I needed to go
Yes.
through something, which is I need to learn how to speak in front of people if I'm going to be a voice coach,
Wow.
right? Because I
Yes.
need to stand in front of
Yes.
people.
Yes.
So what did I do? I joined
Ah.
Toastmasters at the time because that's a place where you can practice standing in front of people and speaking on a regular basis. So I pushed myself one step further. Instead of just becoming a member of Toastmasters, I entered a speech contest just to push myself even further. Macam, oh tak cukup nak masuk ni, masuk contest lagi, just so that I am forced to really face the discomfort. But I learned so much from that process. After going through that process, it's about me being comfortable speaking in front of the camera because I needed to share a lot of
Mm-mm.
content. So again, I had to go through discomfort in order to bring
Mm.
myself through growth. So it's about me learning to record myself, me learning to edit videos. And during the lockdown, I had to learn how to use digital audio, softwares, right, for me to edit myself and become my own sound engineer. Those things didn't come naturally to
Yeah.
me. I had to learn it. Yeah. So me learning to record myself, learning to film myself on video, edit my own videos, me learning to feel comfortable in front of the camera, learning how to manage my business. So all those things, though they were very challenging and uncomfortable and messy, it brought me here. So growth
Yeah.
does begin with big amounts of confusion and discomfort. It's a matter of whether you can ride the storm and go through the eye of the storm. So it's a
Yeah.
constant
Yeah.
process of
Mm-mm.
learning, unlearning, and relearning many things. It doesn't
Mm-mm.
stop here. Just because I'm doing what I'm doing now, it does not mean that I'm done with learning. I think sampai kita
Yeah.
mati, we will still learn many things.
Betul. What's next for you other than doing voiceover and coaching? Do you have anything new you can share with your listeners?
Well, professionally, I'm entering
Ah,
the keynote speech area so that I can be invited to speak at more professional speaking events. So that's something that I'm working
yes.
towards.
Wow. Now, why is it powerful to sit with complex emotions instead of rushing to fix or escape them? Because from the story, I hear that you actually braced through it. You don't escape them. You lost your husband, you found your way through and met yourself worthy again and find meaning in your life to provide not just for yourself, but for your family. What's your advice for those who resist uncomfortable emotions like me, but want to be more present and want to be more like you? People who wants to be the next Kuti Biazid.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't see myself as someone who has all the answers. I have to
Yeah,
say that there are many things that helped me through what I was going through. For example, it sounds cliche, but when I say my kids were my rock, they really were. They were my reason for doing what I do. They helped me stay grounded. They were
yeah,
not
yeah.
around at the time of my late husband's death. Things may have been different. Maybe I would have gone into a spiral of depression. Maybe I would have gone completely way off and started to make wrong decisions. But because they were around and they needed
Mm-hmm.
me, I knew I had to do what's best for us as a family. And what also helped was having a solid support in terms of my in laws who were very supportive of my plans and my need to find a place in the workplace. You know what I mean? Because I need to continue earning. And I think that's probably one thing that some people may resist because they don't know how to continue working after they've left the working scene for a long time, right? I was lucky in a sense that I was still
Mm-hmm.
doing voiceovers even throughout my marriage, and I didn't
Yes.
leave the industry. So it was something that I continued, I pivoted, I decided to
Mm-hmm.
look at all the channels that I have. And this is where a certain level of risk and bravery is involved. Just do it. Just do
Mm-mm.
it because you have nothing to
Mm-mm.
lose and just more to
Yeah,
gain.
yeah.
A lot of people
Mm-mm.
find that discomfort. You got to go through that discomfort for you to emerge on the other side. It's like coming out from a cocoon and out comes a butterfly, right?
Mm-mm. Wow. No matter how challenging the situation is for you in this area, even if there's newcomers, there will always be one Kuti. And
Oh,
you know what I mean? There's no threat to that either because people who want you will want you. And then other will supplement the whole
oh.
industry. And I think no matter where you go next or what you do, I always believe this. If we have the confidence to know that we are worthy enough not to compete and know yourself better, I think you will do well.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Yes. I think you're correct to say that people look for people that they can connect with. I don't see myself as competing with anyone. I will just be
Yeah.
myself. And if they resonate with me and if they're comfortable with me,
Mm.
that's okay. And if they're not comfortable with me, that's okay too. Life is full
Yes.
of
Yes.
choices and that's great.
Yes, yes, and there's other opportunities will come. And I think for me to do this on my own for over 100 episodes, to be honest with you, and of course there were some rejections and the people that came in my way without knocking the door unexpectedly and all of this. When one door closes, the other opens.
That's
This is
right.
how magical life is. And I believe that so much. And I think you speak so truthfully without a doubt. I don't just resonate your story, but I also feel that this is the life that
Yeah.
I see and I once also lived.
I would love to
So
hear
well
your
said,
story
Kuti.
one day. How you start your
Yes,
challenges.
yes, yes. It was very challenging, but I think with all of that, just like the way you did, I think it brought us to where we are today. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of you and I'm very proud of me. I'm very proud of people who wakes up every day to do things that they don't like. And then hopefully in the end, they'll find meaning
Yeah,
eventually.
that's right.
And that's why this come to me in a very humble moment. You said yes for a reason and you are in this journey with me in this final season are meant to be. Your story and mine are brought together because of this, I don't know, connection that goes beyond the soul.
Wow, love that.
So thank you, Kuti, for sharing it with me. Now, before we end the conversation, what are your hopes and dreams for yourself, for your future, and for those learning to embrace their own emotional complexities and let life be bothered, bewitched, and bewildered? Or bewitched, bothered, and bewildered.
What my hopes are. Earlier I said that I'm just happy to be content. Right? I hope that I can still continue what I'm doing. I hope that I will be able to retire. That would mean
Hmm.
knowing that my children will be fine on their own and that I will
Yes.
be in a financial position where I don't need to work because I have to, but I work because I
Hmm.
want to. That's my wish. And
Wow.
to be surrounded by people who love and care for me and want the best for me. And also to hopefully reach a certain level of spiritual knowledge and be at peace
Yes.
with everything. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
that's
Wow.
my goal.
Beautifully said. Kuti, thank you for sharing your stories with me. You are an inspiration to me, and I hope your wishes come true. And I think that you are nothing but an inspiration. I am very amazed, proud, and impressed by all the things that you do. And I will, without a doubt, I will support you however I can. Maybe
That
one
is
day I
so,
get to be Kuti.
yeah. Why
And
don't we? Let's
yeah,
meet
yeah.
up.
So hopefully when I'm in town, auntie, if Nina is back in KL, let's meet up. Yeah.
Yes,
Together.
absolutely.
So thank you, Kuti. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Such a pleasure meeting you online, walaupun, not
Yes,
face to face, but I'm sure we'll meet one day.
yes.
Yes.
Inshallah,
Inshallah,
we'll meet
we'll
one
meet one
day.
day.
Thank you for listening to He. A new episode is available every Thursday, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear from you. Follow me on social media at Rafi Ridzwan and at He Podcast for all the updates and behind the scenes. Once again, thank you for listening to He with Rafi Ridzwan.